Milwaukee knows a thing or two about thinking outside the box, the toolbox. But how can that type of thinking help an entire supply chain? To answer that, we're going to need an expert. Brad, that's where you come in. So at Milwaukee, are there any moments of innovation that stand out in your mind? This is like your entire business.
Yeah, at Milwaukee, we've really led the industry in innovation for 100 years now. This is actually our 100 year anniversary year, 2024. So pretty exciting. So we really take pride in innovation. It really started right out of the gate with the hole shooter. The Henry Ford's assembly line. It allowed a drill to be able to use remotely versus a bench tool. Then as we kind of move through history, you get other milestones like the Sawzall in the 1950s, brand new product. People call it, the Sawzall because that was Milwaukee's brand name, but it's the reciprocating saw as we know it. But I would say one of the largest milestones was when we invented and brought to market the technology that enabled the use of lithium ion in power tools. This is what created the cordless revolution that we're in today. It is still going on with replacing corded products, manual operations, pneumatic, and even gas powered tools now. But the biggest thing to understand with each of those products is that we've spent countless hours in the field working with users side by side to understand their applications, their frustrations, their limitations. And from there, we completely rethink a solution. And that is why we consider ourselves to be a problem solver more than we think of ourselves as a manufacturer.
Now, Brad, I did some digging and I have just enough information to be dangerous. So steer me back in the right direction if needed. But Milwaukee has a battery lab. What is going on there?
Yeah, yes, we do. And luckily, I get an opportunity to visit at least once a year, and it's really impressive. What people don't realize is that not all lithium cells are created equal. Some do better at frigid temperatures, others, quite frankly, don't. Some put out more power, but may not have the ability to have a long life, and some have long life and no power. We're constantly testing cells from the top manufacturers to be sure that they're the best fit for the applications and environments that our users find themselves in. A great example is the M18 Forge 6 amp hour battery we just launched. This new battery technology has a chemical and oil resistant construction on the outside, delivers as much power as our 12 amp hour battery, and probably most importantly, allows a battery to be charged to 80% capacity in 15 minutes safely when paired with a supercharger. This means users are able to have another battery charged before they deplete the battery on their current tool, allowing users to continue productivity without downtime. And it also brings down the amount of batteries that need to be carried in total.
We were talking about innovative things that Milwaukee has done, products that they've put out. And if it were me having to pick, I'd have a hard time. You guys have rotary lasers, which sounds like they belong in science fiction. You've got the strut shears. You got all sorts of stuff. What else are you proud of?
Yeah, that's a really tough question. As we kind of talked about through the vast amount of products that we have, and really us being, just an innovative company in general. I think to make things more obvious would be to step outside of the battery technology side for a moment and think about some other areas that we're really innovating. Again, it goes across all products, but for instance, a pipe wrench has looked the same for, I don't know, 60 years plus, however long it's been around. But we found a way to innovate that for our users. We saw them putting, these cheater extender bars on them that, weren't really necessarily supposed to be done like that or made to be used in that way. So what we did was we allowed opportunities for these cheater bars to be screwed right into the pipe wrench, allowing for more leverage. But then you can move on and look at even small things, right? Like impact sockets. How do you improve upon something like that? Well, we heard from field research that users couldn't read the inscription. So it took something as simple as being able to put a different color ink fill that holds up to the rigors of what our users are doing every day so that they could reach and find their impact socket quicker and be more productive. You can move from that and look at pack out, which is just a whole large system of storage that's really kind of reinventing how people store and transport their tools, their commodities, everything else, soft storage, hard storage.
Now, when you're talking about pack out, I have to ask because I saw it earlier. Is there any way I can have my drink stay on?
Yeah, I got one here actually. With a nice little screw on, put it right in your toolbox or your cooler, maybe weekend warrior style. You've got your option here.
I know you're talking to me with that weekend warrior comment, and I appreciate it. Brad, I've taken enough of your time. Thanks for talking today.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. I always appreciate a chance to speak on behalf of Milwaukee Tool, especially during our 100 years of innovation anniversary.